Welcome to Have You Read It? The channel where we bring books to life, one summary at a time. Today, we're diving into Don't Believe Everything You Think. Why Your Thinking is the Beginning and End of Suffering by Joseph Nguyen. This book explores the root causes of emotional and psychological suffering and offers a new way to understand our minds and create a life of peace and fulfillment. Joseph Nguyen, a spiritual thought leader, shares timeless wisdom to help us unlock the infinite potential of our minds. He challenges the conventional approach to self-help by suggesting that our thinking, rather than external circumstances, is the primary source of our suffering. Nguyen's book is valuable because it provides a practical framework for overcoming anxiety, self-doubt, and self-sabotage without relying on motivation or willpower. It's a guide to achieving freedom of mind and creating the life we've always wanted. Let's begin our exploration of Don't Believe Everything You Think. The author emphasizes that suffering, specifically psychological and emotional suffering, is optional, even though pain is unavoidable. He recounts his personal quest for self-improvement, exploring various teachings and methods, but finding true relief only when he understood how our minds work and how our experiences are created. According to Nguyen, we live in a world of thought, not reality. Our feelings are derived from our thinking about events, not the events themselves. The meaning we assign to an event dictates how we feel about it. Thus, the root cause of our suffering is our own thinking. He illustrates this with the story of a young monk and an empty boat, where the monk realizes that his anger comes not from external disturbances, but from his reaction to them. Thinking evolved to help us survive, alerting us to potential dangers. However, it doesn't help us thrive. It keeps us in a state of fight or flight. Nguyen suggests letting go of solely relying on our minds and tuning into something greater to move beyond survival to fulfillment. It's important to differentiate between thoughts and thinking. Thoughts are mental raw materials, while thinking is actively engaging with those thoughts. Thinking, according to the author, is the root cause of psychological suffering. He uses a thought experiment about desired income to illustrate how thinking about a thought can lead to emotional turmoil. Our natural state is joy, love, and peace. Thinking takes us away from that state. It's not about trying to think positively, but about reducing the amount of thinking we do. The intensity of negative emotions is directly proportional to the amount of thinking, while the intensity of positive emotions is inversely proportional. The less thinking we have, the more space we create for positive emotions to surface. The human experience is created by three principles: universal mind, universal consciousness, and universal thought. Universal mind is the intelligence behind all living things. Universal consciousness is what allows us to be aware of our existence. Universal thought is the raw material from which we create. These principles, discovered by Sydney Banks, explain how we can alleviate suffering and create from source. It's not possible to entirely stop thinking, but we can reduce the time we spend thinking. By becoming aware of our thinking, we can detach from it, allowing it to settle. Nguyen compares this to a bowl of dirty water that clears when left undisturbed. The natural state of our minds is clear if we don't disturb it. He uses the analogy of quicksand to describe how fighting our thinking only makes it worse. The key is to let go and trust our inner wisdom. We do our best work when we aren't thinking. Peak performance is a state of non-thinking, also known as flow. Nguyen illustrates this with examples from athletes and references the Japanese concept of mushin, a mind free of random thoughts and ego. There are two sources of goals: inspiration and desperation. Goals created from desperation are driven by scarcity and urgency, while those from inspiration feel expansive and like a calling. Nguyen encourages creating goals from inspiration, connecting with a force of life within us wanting to be expressed. He describes how divine inspiration knows no boundaries and energizes us, making us feel high on life. Nguyen shares a personal experience of learning about unconditional love from his girlfriend McKenna. He contrasts conditional love, based on reasons and expectations, with unconditional love, which is an outpouring of abundance. Unconditional creation, similarly, involves creating without conditions or reasons, leading to immediate feelings of fulfillment. After experiencing peace through non-thinking, it's normal to feel worry, anxiety, and doubt. This is often the ego attempting to regain control. It's important to remember that all negative feelings come from thinking and to channel newfound energy into goals of inspiration. An activation ritual or morning routine can help maintain a state of non-thinking. There is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. We want to avoid the pitfall of casting judgment or analysis of right or wrong. It is best to seek the truth in what's in front of you. Negative emotions indicate a misunderstanding, and that it is in that moment that we simply forgot where our experience comes from, and that our thinking is the cause of our negative emotions. While there are no right or wrong decisions, there are more pleasant ones. Trust your intuition, your inner GPS, to guide you. Society may not confirm your intuition until it's mainstream, so avoid looking externally for answers. Know that you already know what to do, and if you don't, trust that your inner wisdom will provide the answers. Follow your intuition by tapping into something greater than yourself. A state of non-thinking in direct connection with infinite intelligence. Your intuition will often seem illogical and go against your rational mind, but it will lead to miracles and abundance beyond your imagination. The key is to overcome fear and step into the unknown. Creation requires space. We can create this space by creating more non-thinking moments. Recalling the story of the Zen master, to create space for the new, it is best to start empty. As you live in non-thinking, unfamiliar feelings may arise, causing you to question if something is wrong. This is just your brain trying to re-engage in thinking. Have faith that the universe is working for you, and that everything happens for a reason. If you fall back into thinking, don't punish yourself, just remember the truth and return to peace. The author encourages the reader to take time and celebrate their transformation that they have underwent during this journey. From this point, it is just about being aware of the thinking that is happening in your life. Nguyen also asks that if one found the book helpful to leave a review on Amazon. Here are some key lessons from Don't Believe Everything You Think. Recognize that your thoughts, not external events, are the primary cause of your emotional and psychological suffering. As the book says, pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Understand the difference between having thoughts which are natural and engaging in thinking, which is where suffering begins. Aim for a state of non-thinking to experience peace, love, and joy. Your natural state is joy, love, ecstasy, freedom, and gratitude. Create goals and dreams out of inspiration rather than desperation. Goals created from inspiration will feel light, energizing, and expansive. Follow your intuition and inner wisdom. They somehow already know what you truly want to become, according to Steve Jobs. Actionable insights. Become aware of your thinking patterns throughout the day. Notice when you start to feel negative emotions and identify the thoughts that are triggering them. Create space in your mind by letting go of your thoughts. Imagine your mind as a bowl of cloudy water and allow the dirt to settle to the bottom. Trust your gut feeling and take small steps towards your dreams. Don't worry about figuring everything out in advance. Practice unconditional love by not placing conditions on when you will love others or yourself. In conclusion, Don't Believe Everything You Think offers a transformative perspective on the nature of suffering and the power of our minds. Nguyen encourages us to question our thoughts and to recognize that our true nature is one of peace, love, and joy. By understanding the principles outlined in this book, we can break free from the cycle of suffering and create a life of fulfillment and purpose. So, will you take the leap and start questioning everything you think? Will you embrace the journey to non-thinking and discover the peace that lies within? Joseph Nguyen challenges you to do just that. Thanks for watching. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you never miss our next book dive.